ABC 15 Sports Sunday starts now.
Well, welcome to ABC 15 Sports Sunday. I'm Brandon Hamilton, filling in for the legend Craig Fouie tonight. But before he left for that very relaxing vacation, he got some great interviews in. He's sitting down with Fiesta Bowl's executive director, Robert Shelton, to talk about the Valley's big game, and he's going one-on-one with Sun Devils lineman Evan Finkenberg. Well, we got to start with the biggest story of the day. The Cardinals forced into a must-win situation today, facing the Seattle Seahawks in the most hostile environment for visiting teams. Let's take you to the field. On the kickoff, Robert Turbin brings it out and just flat out drops the ball before being met by the Cardinals defense. Justin Bethel recovers it, and the Cardinals are poised for a touchdown, but here we go again. Carson Palmer looking for Floyd, but it's picked off in the end zone by Richard Sherman, his second of the game and Palmer's fourth interception of the game. With 7.5 minutes left to play, Russell Wilson finds the former Arizona State Sun Devil Zach Miller in the end zone, and the game is all tied up at 9. Now here we go. The extra point is blocked, but a legal formation is called on Arizona, and the Seahawks regain the lead 10-9. Then finally, 4 interceptions later, you know Palmer, he's due to throw a touchdown eventually. Huge clutch throw there. Michael Floyd with his first catch of the game, and wow, what a catch that was. It's now 15-10 Cardinals. They go for 2, and Rashard Mendenhall finds the end zone, and the Cardinals lead by 7 with 4 minutes to play in the game. And then seals the deal right here, a pick from Carlos Dansby. The Cardinals get their biggest win of the season, beating the Seahawks 17-10. When it's time for Cardinals Breakdown, we are joined by the always stylish Tom Zinner. That is a nice jacket you have there.
I appreciate it, Brandon. Thank you.
Nice.
You know what? At the Suns games, too, this one's, a lot of people have comments about it. It's suede. Happy holidays. I got to bust it out tonight.
It stands out. Oh, my gosh. What a wild game today. Cards pulling out a big win. So what will it take for the Cardinals to make the playoffs? Well, here's a look at the only 2 scenarios that can give them playoff hopes. Scenario number 1, the 49ers, they have to lose to the Falcons tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, and then they have to lose to the Cardinals in the final game of the regular season. Now, here's the second scenario. Regardless, if the 49ers beat the Falcons or not, if the Cardinals beat the 49ers next week and then the Saints lose to the Buccaneers, well, the Cardinals, they're in.
This segment of In the Ring is brought to you by Sanderson Ford.
Well, you know him, Tom Zinner. Appreciate you stopping by. You got the boxing gloves on? You ready to go?
I'm ready. Are you ready, Brandon? This isn't 4:30 in the morning. You're not talking about a pileup on I-10.
This
if
is
you
very
say
different.
something wrong here, I'm going to let you have it.
I'm thrown off here. I'm tired. But let's jump right into it.
Great job this weekend, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. First topic. We're on the edge of our seats right now. The Cardinals beat the Seattle Seahawks, keeping those playoff hopes alive, but we're not done yet. We have to beat the 49ers next week. Do you think we can do that, Tom? Well, Houston, we have a problem. Anytime Peyton Manning rolls into town, you know it's going to be an offensive feast, and that's exactly what he delivered to the Texans today. To the field, Manning entered the game with 47 touchdown passes, 3 shy of the single-season record owned by Tom Brady in the second quarter. Manning hits Demaryius Thomas for a 36-yard touchdown pass, taking him to 48 on the year. To the fourth we go. Manning connects with Eric Decker twice in the end zone, tying the record. But it was this play right here, a 25-yard touchdown pass to Julius Thomas that gives Peyton Manning the all-time single-season passing touchdown record with 51. The Broncos take the game 37-13 and clinch the AFC West.
I think it's a unique thing and a neat thing to be a part of NFL history, even though it may be temporary. I personally think all season records are going down, especially if they go to 18 games, and there won't be an asterisk next to them. So Brady will probably break it again next year, not the year after. So we'll enjoy it for as long as it lasts, and hopefully the Hall of Fame will just send the ball back, you know, once somebody throws for more.
He's always so humble. We're turning back to the NFC for a game that impacts the Cardinals' playoff chances. Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers taking on Drew Brees and the Saints. In the fourth quarter, Drew Brees puts the Saints on his back, driving 97 yards in 11 plays and connects with tight end Jimmy Graham for a 5-yard touchdown pass, giving the Saints a 13-10 lead with 6:37 left. But here comes Superman. With less than 1 minute left, Newton connects with Greg Olsen for a 14-yard completion after spiking the ball to stop the clock with 23 seconds left. Newton connects with Dominique Hickson, who makes a diving catch in the end zone, and the Panthers go on to win 17-13, clinching the team's first playoff berth since 2008. The Saints are too tough to beat. All right, moving on. Peyton Manning, you saw this today, right? Beat the single-season passing touchdown record in Houston today. He sits at 51 touchdowns. He beat Tom Brady's record of 50. He has 5,211 passing yards this season, just 266 yards shy from breaking Drew Brees' record. So this begs the question, Tom, is Peyton Manning the best quarterback to ever play? It's tough. You throw Montana, Unitas, Elway, Marino, Brady, of course, 3 Super Bowls. It's tough, but yeah, I don't think he's the best to ever play, but he's pretty darn good. All right, let's move on. The Phoenix Suns, my goodness, off to a hot start. You know what? They wanted to ignite the future. That was the goal this year. Are they doing that? And is this the team we're going to stay with for a while? To have that leader there. And yeah, overall, an 8-5 against teams with 500 records or above. So they're beating the good teams. 7 3-pointers in 18th consecutive games. They're lighting it up out there. So yeah, the Suns, the real deal this year. Now, Commitment Day is coming up. You're with Lifetime Fitness. You're going to be a part of this big event, right? That's a committed man right there. Tom Zinner, appreciate you stepping by.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Well, the Sun Devils are headed back to the Holiday Bowl, and this time they'll face the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the hardest working man in sports. Craig Fouie caught up with senior offensive lineman Evan Finkenberg before the team heads out to San Diego. Well, still ahead, Fiesta Bowl Executive Director Robert Shelton is stopping by. He's here to talk about the Valley hosting the BCS Championship game in 2016. Plus, he explains why the Fiesta Bowl took the University of Central Florida for this year's game. And more NFL action from today's games straight ahead. To FedEx Field we go, where Tony Romo and the Cowboys take on rival Washington Redskins, and after blowing a 14-6 halftime lead, the Cowboys find themselves down 23-17 in the fourth, with 1:08 left in the game. Romo hits DeMarco Murray on 4th down, the touchdown pass to go ahead 24-23, and that would be the final score. Romo completes 17 of 27 passes for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns, while DeMarco Murray ran for 96 yards, becoming the first Cowboys back to rush for 1,000 yards since Julius Jones in 2006. Well, that's going to do it for ABC 15 Sports Sunday Special. Thanks to Evan Finkenberg, Robert Shelton, and Tom Zinner for stopping by.
Brandon Hamilton in for Craig Fouie tonight. We are talking about the Coyotes on the road in Canada this afternoon. Not an easy game either.
No, and it's not going to be easy for me to do sports without a gray mustache like Fouie's, right? We're going to make it through, though. To get the win, though, for the Yotes, they had to do it in overtime, and it's all about Antoine Vermette and what he did against his former team in today's game. Stay tuned.
And now, your Sanderson Ford Sports.
Well, I'm Brandon Hamilton, filling in for Craig Fouie today. The Phoenix Coyotes, they're still on the road, taking on the Senators this afternoon in Ottawa. Let's take you to the ice. And the Senators jump out to an early lead. Mark Methot scores on a power play in the first. And then Zach Smith gets a goal in the second, all to give Ottawa a 2-0 lead. Then just a minute and a half later, Antoine Vermette grabs a goal for the Coyotes, and it's 2-1. Now, still in the second, this time, the Coyotes are on a power play. Radim Verbata scores to tie up the game at 2, but again, Methot comes through for the Senators to regain the lead, and it's now 3-2. Then late in the third, with less than 2.5 minutes to play, it's Vermette once again. Now we're heading to overtime. Gets exciting here. So, of course, when you go to overtime, who do you count on? Vermette. He's absolutely on fire. He scores the game-winning goal and gets his first hat trick with Phoenix. The Coyotes win this one 4-3. And by the way, Vermette's last hat trick came in April of 2008 when he was playing for the Senators.
Brandon Hamilton in tonight for Craig. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm still trying to work on that mustache.
We're missing the blue eyes,
just
but the green's nice too. The green's nice too. We got to talk about the Phoenix Suns lighting it up from behind the arc tonight.
Oh, they're on fire. Lights out right now. Quite a show tonight as well. Channing Frye finishes 4 for 6 from three-point land, and I'll tell you how the rest of the team fared against the Mavericks ahead in sports.
And now, your Sanderson Ford Sports.
Well, the Phoenix Suns going for their 7th win in their last 8 games, hosting the Dallas Mavericks at U.S. Airways Center. The Suns get off to a 25-12 lead to start the game. Channing Frye comes up huge. He finishes with 18 points and 8 rebounds, completely lights out, and finishes 4 from 6 from three-point land. Eric Bledsoe leads the team with 25 points, and the Suns beat up on the Mavericks 123-108 the final. They'll face the Lakers at home on Monday night. Well, Texas Tech taking on Arizona State in the big Holiday Bowl later this month, but their basketball teams are facing off against each other in Tempe today. The Devils clearly the better team in this matchup. Jermaine Marshall leads all scorers with 27 points. Jahi Carson finishes with 16 points and 13 assists, while Jordan Baczynski adds 12. The Sun Devils get the win 76-62, and ASU improves to 10-2 this season. While on the women's side, the Sun Devils looking to remain undefeated at home, taking on the Miami Hurricanes at Wells Fargo Arena in Tempe. Adrian Thomas leads the Devils with 14 points. Katie Hempen, Kelsey Moose, and Promise Amukamara each finish with 10. But this one comes down to the wire. ASU tried to get the ball down the court with 9 seconds to play, up one, but the ball is tipped out of bounds. After review, though, the officials call it Miami ball, and now the Hurricanes. They give themselves a chance to win, but they can't control the ball on the inbounds play, and the Sun Devils get the win 75-73. They improve to 10-1 this season. Well, bowl season is finally upon us with a couple of Pac-12s playing this afternoon. We'll start with a game that you have to see to believe. The Colorado State Rams taking on the Washington State Cougars in the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. We pick it up with 2:52 to play in the fourth, with Washington State leading 45-30. CSU, they march down the field and pull within 8 on this 12-yard touchdown pass from Garrett Grayson to Jordan Baden. Now it's 45-37. On the Cougars' next possession, Rams linebacker Shaquille Barrett forces the fumble, and CSU recovers. But the officials reverse the call, saying Connor Halliday, he was down. And Washington State keeps the ball, but call it a case of deja vu on the very next play. Barrett forces the fumble again, and it's Colorado State ball with 1:51 to play. Now Capri Bibbs runs in from a yard out. It's now 45-43, so of course CSU, they're going to go for 2. After review, though, the ball crosses the plane. You can see him Superman it right here to the goal line. He gets it in. Now they tie it up at 45. On the kickoff, Jake Slager forces another fumble, and the Rams get the ball back on the 24-yard line. Now Jared Roberts kicks a field goal as time expires, and Colorado State beats Washington State in a thriller. What a comeback, 48-45. Well, to the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl, what a name that is. The Fresno State Bulldogs up against the USC Trojans, and, well, USC pretty much dominates this game from the beginning. Trojans quarterback Cody Kessler completes 22 of 31 passes for 344 yards and 4 touchdowns. Javorius Allen rushes for 2 touchdowns as USC wins the one 45-20. And now, to the famous, yes, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Don't you love that name? I'm not making this up either. A game between the Buffalo Bulls and the San Diego State Aztecs. Now in the fourth, with Buffalo trailing 42-17, they try to go for the onside kick. What happened? Didn't even touch the ball. It's supposed to go 10 yards, you know. Whoops. Yep, only about 1 yard there. Well, San Diego State wins this one easily, 49-24 the final. You know, the coach is over there scratching his head on that one.
Hey, even that kid is shaking his hand going, oh, wait, I forgot something. I forgot something.
It'll go down in history. You know, a big game also, the Cardinals taking on the Seahawks tomorrow in Seattle, trying to get that big playoff berth. So fingers crossed for them.
Going to be a tough one. All right, thanks, Brandon.
Did it tonight.
They did it. High five, right? And the perfect time as well. The last time the Cardinals got a win there was 2009. It was not easy, though, today. The Cardinals offense struggling throughout the game. Not Carson Palmer's best day either. He throws 4 interceptions and now has 21 INTs this season. The only Cardinals quarterback to have more was Jake Plummer with 24 in 1999. Now Palmer completes just 13 of 25 passes for 176 yards, but he comes through when it counts. A clutch pass there, hitting Michael Floyd for this amazing catch in the end zone to put Arizona up 15-10. Now the Cardinals, they go for 2. Rashard Mendenhall rushes in, and the Cardinals take a 7-point lead in the fourth. Now Carlos Dansby, he seals the win for the Cardinals on this interception at the end of the game, and the Cardinals give the Seahawks their first loss at home this season. They get the 17-10 win and keep their playoff hopes alive. Now, stick around for ABC 15 Sports Sunday coming up at 10:35 tonight. I'll tell you who needs to win, who needs to lose in order for the Cardinals to make it to the playoffs. It's confusing, but we'll map it out for you.
They don't call them the Cardiac Cardinals for nothing, huh?
Comeback kids.
All right, thanks, Brandon, so much.
I tell you what, 3 plays really changed the game. Carson Palmer owns his defense a steak dinner. Goal line stand, 30 seconds left in the second quarter. The Cardinals stop the Seahawks. Lynch just stuffed right there. Game changer.
Talking about one of the most obnoxious fan bases in the country.
12th man
Seahawks,
shut down.
Please, who isn't sick of them already?
Keep it down out there.
Winning anything?
And what's so impressive, well, not impressive, Carson Palmer throws 4 interceptions, yet the defense keeps us in the game. Let's talk about Carson Palmer, though. Just a horrible game for him.
Yeah, one word, terrible. You can't sugarcoat it any way.
That one play, though, you're right. Clutch play at the end. Hey, that won the game for him. All right, the third play that really made a difference. Carlos Dansby picks off Russell Wilson's pass to Doug Baldwin, but this was a controversial play. Did it hit the ground? That's the question.
It doesn't matter, because here's the bottom line on this one.
The planets were aligned for them again. Big game-changing play right there. Interception, like you said. Doesn't matter if it hit the ground or not. Great play there. Tom,
Brandon, thank you,
We appreciate your insight.
Good
Big
job
win for
today.
the Cardinals today, 17-10. Hey, keeping those playoff hopes alive. Well, still ahead, before the Sun Devils head to San Diego for the Holiday Bowl, Craig Fouhy is going one-on-one with ASU's lineman Evan Finkenberg. Plus, 2 scenarios that would land the Cardinals in the playoff. Who needs to win and who needs to lose? We'll break it down for you. Plus, the Phoenix Suns have won 7 out of their last 8 games. Is it too soon to start talking about the postseason?